the Nocturne, a Nocturne in G major, Opus 37, number 2. This was written substantially later in Chopin's life, this time when he was on the island of Mallorca. The story gets a bit complicated. He meets another woman in Paris. Her name is George. Well, her name really wasn't George, but she took the name George because she was the most famous writer in France, and women at that point weren't publishing books. So George and Frederick go to this island off the coast of France, and there they were hoping to have a lovely time because the weather was hopefully going to be nice. Well, it didn't turn out that way. He began writing this piece on the island of Mallorca, but he didn't finish it because he got so sick on the island, and the people there found out from the doctors who were treating him that he probably had tuberculosis. So they burned his house, they burned everything in his mattress, and they were forced to leave. He fled across the sea to France, and the only ship that they would put this man on was a ship that shipped cattle and pigs to France. The captain wouldn't allow him to stay in the rooms because of the risk of contagion, so they put him with the pigs. He violently coughed the whole trip, coughing up blood. He just about died again at that point with the pigs. He didn't forget this piece, however, when he got back to France, and he finished it. So this starts, the relationship that Chopin had with George Sand. It lasted for 9 years. And for you young people who may not know the whole story, please read about it, because these two were one of the oddest couples in all of the history of music. But it was an interesting thing. At the beginning of the relationship, she was the most famous author in all of France, and he was a fledgling composer. At the end of their 9-year relationship, he was the most famous composer in the world, almost, and her star was fading, let's say. Okay, this piece, I think, has one of the loveliest melodies that Chopin ever wrote, ever. I'll see what you think. Here to play the Nocturne in G major, Opus 37, number 2, is Adrian King. Please welcome Adrian King. try it? You might try it sometime. That'd be fun, huh? But I bet you can. You know that piece so well that you can play it blindfolded. That piece gives no clue to the hardship Chopin put up with during the time he was composing it, does it? It's just amazing. It's kind of a peace and tranquility piece. You will wear it wonderfully.